So I am in, I believe it's called Gothenburg, Nebraska. They had a sign saying Pony Express stop. This was a stop for the Pony Express back a long time ago. Unsolicited history lesson. The Pony Express lasted how long? 18 months. That was it. I was under the impression that stuff went on for years, but apparently 18 months, and then the telegraph, that was all set up, and bada boom, bada bing. These guys rode about 200 miles a day. They changed horses about every 10 to 20 miles. And after about 200 miles, they would actually stop and swap drivers. And for the most part, they only transported government mail. It really wasn't the private citizen and small businesses, things like that. All right, let's on to Denver or thereabouts. In 1968, I was 10 years old, and my parents and my brother and I, we were in an International Harvester. It was a 6-man cab, so it had 4 doors. You could ride in it like you're riding a station wagon, but we also had a camper attached to it. And we went out west. We took I-80. It was 1968. It was a fairly new highway, man. So we just cruised, and we wound up going all the way to Wyoming, where we saw a ghost town and stuff, and then we came down into Colorado. I'm taking a slightly different route, but after my mom passed away, I wanted to revisit some history, not world history, not American history, my family's history. You know, I went to the site of where our house was when I was a kid. Ooh, I got some kind of a text message. I wanted to see some of the place, like a place I went to school, high school, junior high, grade school, all that stuff. When my brother his wife and I went up to the Upper Peninsula, Copper Harbor. We scattered my mom and Bill's ashes up there, and we got to relive a little history up there too. We got to see some cool things. Some of the stuff, man, you can't go home. I mean, there's just things have changed so much. I mean, obviously it's like 30 some years since the last time I was up there. But a lot of things change. You just can't go home, I guess. You have to, it's like it forces you to look at the present and the future, because that's the past, man. It's gone. I'm learning a lot of that stuff, firsthand. I mean, I always knew it, was taught it, tried to live it. Now I'm being forced to live it in a lot of ways, but it's okay. Um, well, anyway, when we took the trip out west, I remember as a kid, we stopped at a place, and I know that it was in Nebraska. And the reason I know that is because it was this Wild West town, and they had a buffalo out there, live buffalo. You get your pictures taken on these stuffed animals, a stuffed buffalo, life size, and a stuffed horse that was like bucking up like this, and you could sit on it. They would take pictures, and it would look like old timey pictures and stuff. And you could go in, you could order a buffalo burger and all. And I remember thinking, but this is just Nebraska, man. This isn't the West. This isn't Texas. This isn't Arizona. This isn't. But it's not Colorado even. But you know what? It's almost Colorado. Anyway, that was 48 years ago. I tried like hell to retrace some of the steps that we took, and I found that place. It's in a town called Ogalalla, Nebraska. Ogalalla, Nebraska. This place is like right off of 80. It's like just a couple miles through town, and it's called Front Street. It was built, I guess, 53 years ago. So when we got there, it was like a brand new place. But I saw it, and I thought, I think this is it. And I walked around, I looked, I said, I think this is it. I walked inside, and I talked to some of the people there. And when I got inside, it definitely looked familiar. When I talked to some of the people there, and although a lot of them were like kids, okay, obviously, 20, 30-year-old kids, they don't know what this place was like almost 50 years ago, for Christ's sake. But I did meet a couple people there, and one woman was a historian. She was probably in her 40s, but she knew a lot about the area and about the place. And I asked her about the place, and she started going into the spiel, and I said, no, hang on, hang on. Did they used to have a live buffalo out back? Now, the woman who works behind the register, she's older, and she's been around town longer, and on Earth longer, and she says they did. They used to have buffaloes, not all the time, but from time to time they would have one, and they'd have it for, multiple years, and then it would finally get old and get sick or whatever, and they'd not have one for a while, then they'd have one again. So there you go. That was probably the place. And then she did not know if they ever had a deal where you'd sit on these things, get your pictures taken. She doesn't know. But I dialed that place into 99.9999% that was it. And then, funny enough, I go outside to have a cigarette, and there's an old timer walking up. And I just said, excuse me, are you from around here? Oh, yeah. Well, he sat down on the bench next to me. The guy was 78 years old, and with the exception of about a 20-year period somewhere in the early 70s to somewhere in the 90s, he lived in this town his whole life. And I asked him a bunch of questions about the place, and although he couldn't confirm the taxidermy stuffed animals, all the rest of it, he said, oh yeah, they had the stagecoach ride that would go in the back, and then they have the fake gunfight out front, and this and that and the other. So it is the place. So it was really cool to, revisit that, after my mom passed away. The only thing is I started to have like an almost mini meltdown thinking about it, but that's what this tattoo is, man. My mom loved blue gardenias. WWMW, what would Mom want? Mom would have wanted me to sit down and have a buffalo burger and a sarsaparilla, just like I did 48 years ago. She would want me to take a bunch of pictures and have some fun with it. She would want me to see Colorado. She always said, if you want to do it, do it. You should do it. You should go to Colorado. You should go. Well, I'm here, finally. And, love you, Mom. I love you guys too, man. Howdy. I am in Sterling, Colorado. Yay! I am currently at 3,963 feet. Not a big deal. For those of you who are smokers, don't be afraid. When I first left York, Nebraska, um, it took a little while, but I was slow upgrade, and I started to feel like, oh man, I can feel this. I can't breathe as easily. But I kind of got used to it. One downside is the new van. The air conditioning went out, and I'm 2 hours outside of Denver. And by the time I get to Denver, it's going to be about 99 or 100, and I won't have air conditioning. And it's Sunday, so a Kia dealer is not going to be open to cover this. I think it's under warranty, right? I mean, full warranty. But probably just needs to be charged, but I'll get that done probably Monday. So that will work. But in the meantime, just a cigarette. But the cool thing is you pull into the state and it's like, I'm legal. I My plans are to hit Greeley because it's his fucking fault, Horace Greeley's fault, that I always wanted to go west. Or is that going to look like this on the camera? I don't know. Anyway, go west, young man. Well, it's too late. I mean, I did when I was 17, but wanted to for my whole life, and here I am. Anyway, Greeley, Boulder, because that's like a hippie town, from what I hear. Kind of Austin-ish, kind of Madison-ish. So I'm going to hit Boulder, then I'm going to go down to Denver, cruise around there for a little bit, see what's like trouble I can get into. Then, so I think south of there is Colorado Springs, so I'll probably hit that. And then I will be going through, when I finally leave there in roughly a week, and I start heading down toward Austin, which is where I'm going to probably land. But I'm going to be going through Pueblo, Colorado. So if any of you needs any pamphlets or that kind of stuff, flyers, let me know because I'm going to be going right through Pueblo so I can pick them up for you. You remember those commercials? Just write in care of this thing to Pueblo, Colorado, and you'd get your folders, your pamphlets, your propaganda, whatever you want. But just let me know in a private message or in my comments in Facebook or in what's the thing I use all the time? YouTube. Or for those of you who know my phone number, text me, call me, whatever. And just let me know what you need, and you'll get it.